Hey, welcome, and thanks so much for being here. This is Sherial with Sheryl's Network Live, where we bring you business tips, ideas, and strategies on taking your business to the next level. And today in the studio, we have Verner Dixon.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
How are you? Pretty cold out there today.
It is
isn't
absolutely freezing out there. I left my office and I had to do a quick U-turn to go and get my winter overcoat.
That's cold when you're in Vegas and
Vegas.
you need your winter overcoat.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know.
So,
We don't usually have this kind of weather.
no, it was surprising to walk out and it be that cold.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that in a long time. So
Absolutely. Well, it won't last. That's the good thing about Las Vegas is it doesn't last. So, Verner, you've got more exciting news, and let's just talk a little bit about. You've just got a certification, haven't you?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I've been doing I've been in the Bitcoin environment for almost 4 years, and I've been dabbling back and forth, and I've made some good money from that. But over that period of time, I've learned a lot about what they call the ecosystem in terms of that. With that in mind, looking at the industry, and particularly here in Las Vegas, and going to different meetups and the things that are required, some of the information that's required, some of the questions that get asked, some of the resources that are needed in some of the businesses actually here in Nevada. I just felt that I needed some type of professional label or certification. I say on my card, a degree. And I say on my card, I'm living the Bitcoin life, but that wasn't enough, because what we're finding is that the casino industry is looking at blockchain technology in terms of updating their applications. Government is actually looking at it as well in terms of how can they improve their applications and how they work with the public. And so there was an opportunity. It was a company called C4. It's a consortium of well-known industry leaders in the Bitcoin community or cryptocurrency community, and they put this consortium together. And so they develop certifications that you can become part of. And so at my level, what I wanted to do was to become certified as a Bitcoin professional. So that happened yesterday officially at 2:35.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What did you have to go through to get that certification?
They want you to have experience for 2.5 years, but you can go through what I call an expedited training with it's University of Udemy, and so you can do pre-certification there, and so it's a 2.5-hour instructional class that you can go through with follow-up and some additional information. And then there's some research things that you have to do. You have to understand what Satoshi Nakamoto's white letter was when it first came out. And then there's a dictionary of terms and technology that you have to understand as well. And then there's some ancillary things. But there's 6 areas that they'd like you to be proficient in. And so I did what we call overstudy. I wanted to make sure that I hit this the first time out. And so it was nerve-wracking because I wanted the certification so badly, but it was exciting once I had gotten it. And I think everybody in my complex was aware there was something going on in my apartment, because when I finished the test and it said that I had passed, I have never screamed that loud in my life. I mean, I felt like a little girl getting her first little bicycle for Christmas.
That is cool.
So,
well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So that means that when you go and you talk to these people within the casinos in our area, and you do all this training, you're actually certified to do it.
Yes.
This gives you more credibility.
Gives me a lot more credibility as opposed to just someone who has just learned the technology and come to the table. I've got luminaries in the industry have certified me as a Bitcoin professional.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
That just means I know what I'm talking about most of the time.
Of course. And so tell us a bit more. I mean, the whole Bitcoin, so many people don't know about it.
Right.
And, those people that think they know about it really might not know about it. And so what would you say to a person that is, just getting started, but why should they really get started? And the reason I ask this is because I've talked to a few people myself that I've said, have you heard about Bitcoin? Well, yeah, we heard about that, but we're not investing.
Yeah.
No, we're not investing.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, fine. So what would you say to that person?
I was just going to say something smart, but I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that.
You
can. I mean, in terms, and there's a lot of people like that, because I ask people too, have you heard of Bitcoin? Yes, and 9 times out of 10 they've heard something negative, or they've heard about it and they hear something in terms of money, but they haven't done any research on it. And then when they do the research, they've come up with the negative stuff. I mean, everything they come up with negative on cryptocurrency, the same thing happens in fiat currency or your regular money. So there's no different there. But in terms of somebody understanding the environment, it's a peer-to-peer currency. In other words, it's a way that you and I can do. That we've agreed on a level of value for a particular item, whether it be digitally created or whether we've got seashells. We say this seashell is worth $5, and once we agree that seashell is worth $5, then we can transact a commerce or an exchange of value with that. So what we've done with the digital environment is created a value in a digital environment. And I'll back up and talk about the Satoshi's white paper. What happened in 2008 is when the financial industry went to heck in a handbag.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? A lot of people lost a lot of money in that. Real estate, the financial institutions, the investment firms, all went to whatever. And realized too that those big companies that lost all of these people's money, mine included, they didn't have to pay for that. We as a government, we end up paying for it twice. We paid for it with what we lost, and then we had to pay for it to help fund to get ourselves out of it. So Satoshi Nakamoto, he said that there's got to be a better way to have financial transactions without these middlemen in the middle, because all they're doing is messing up things, and they've proven that they can't manage our finances. So he developed a process to say we can do a transaction and guarantee that it's not duplicatable. In other words, we can't take the same transaction and spend it in 2 different places. The system is set up where you can't do duplicate spending. And as long as we agree that this is a viable method of doing currency exchanges, that was the first thing. And then people started to agree. Once they started to agree, and then the first transaction happened, well, the first transaction was just to see if it would work. And that was 50 coins that went back and forth across the network. And they said, well, the network works. And so the first official transaction in terms of commerce was when one of the developers said, I've got 10,000 Bitcoins worth about a penny. I got 10,000 Bitcoins. Who out there will do a transaction with me? I want to buy a pizza. I want to buy a couple of pizzas. Who will do a transaction with me? And so as they were turning around, some people say, nope, that I don't know what that is. I'm understanding. Somebody said, I'll do it. And they transacted 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. 10,000 Bitcoins for less than a penny a piece for 2 pizzas. Right now, Bitcoin is over $11,000.
Wow.
So you can only imagine 10,000 times $11,000. So that's what those pizzas would be valued at today. As it's becoming more and more accepted as a currency or method of transaction, they're realizing that the middleman, the fees can be removed. And so as we accept that and we enjoy the monies that we're saving, it's becoming more and more popular. But you're right in terms of people who are afraid of it because the government is saying, that's not good. The government is doing this, and those people are stepping back because if the government is not on board with this, then it must not be right. What they don't know and what they don't continue to read is that the government is trying to figure out a way to work with this technology.
So would that be like in Canada and the U.S.?
Yes, in Canada, in U.S., not only that, but around the world.
Well, I know some countries like Switzerland that everybody is Bitcoin, Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is legal in Australia. It's legal in the Philippines. It's legal in South Africa. And so there's a couple of other countries that have legalized it from a governmental perspective and utilize
So
it.
eventually then all government will legalize. And so what does it mean if it's not legal in some countries?
It just means that they don't know how to get their taxes from it.
Oh,
And
that's a good point.
But
yeah.
as an example, in China, China has made it illegal. Okay, China was doing when I say mining, this may throw some people out, but in terms of generating cryptocurrency, it's called mining. China was doing 3% of the worldwide value of what cryptocurrency was.
Mm-hmm.
They were generating that much. Then they started with the ICOs, the initial coin offerings, which are equivalent to an IPO. Mm-hmm. And their citizens were jumping on board so quickly, and they didn't understand the technology. So and some of those ICOs were Ponzi schemes, way to steal money. Mm-hmm. And so what the Chinese government was saying is, we're going to protect you, citizen. We're going to make getting involved in an ICO illegal. And the citizens didn't stop long enough. They would continue to get involved in it. So the government is saying, we're going to get rid of all cryptocurrency. We're going to close down the exchanges and everything. We're going to do all of that to protect you. And so exchanges started moving to Hong Kong and Singapore and some of the other countries out there. What the citizens still don't get an opportunity to realize is that there's a coin called NEO. NEO is being mined by the Chinese government. Okay, so on the one hand, they're still mining coins. On the other hand, it's illegal for their citizens. So
but it's okay for their government.
It's a double speak. Okay, and right now they're trying to figure out a way. Maybe there's another way to kind of reintroduce this, because they wanted to make sure that their citizens were smart enough to understand what they were getting into. And that's another thing in terms of what most governments are trying to do with all of these ICOs, is they're trying to make sure that the ICO has enough information in it that there's viable technology or viable solution, something that's being solved that creates this value, and it's not just a scheme to take people's money and run. So that's one of the regulatory things that people are working on.
So it's not going away. It's here to stay.
It's here to stay. Right now, there's over 13. Last time I checked, there was over 13,000 Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies out there, and they're growing.
13,000 different.
13,000 different ones. Okay, and it's continuing to grow. Did I say 13,000? 1,300. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1,300. I get excited. Plus, it's cold out there. Over 1,300, and it's continuing to grow. I was just looking at my some information that came in this morning. There were 4 new ones that are being introduced that they're saying watch now, that have underlying value to them, and they're brand new. So there's 13,000 plus 4 more from this morning that I saw. But these look like they're going to be worth the effort. So
wow, that's amazing.
But in terms of going away, cryptocurrency will go away when the internet goes away.
Well, that will never happen.
I'll put it, and it'll never happen. And it's too ingrained in what people are doing and the acceptance in terms of moving forward. The financial industry is starting to get more and more involved. They just want to figure out a way where they can take advantage of the technology or the currencies or some area that they can be involved in.
And so there's a lot of people, aren't there, making a lot of money?
There's a lot of people making a lot of money.
Well,
yes.
how are they doing that?
They're doing it a couple ways. You can do as a straight investment what they call buy and hold. For instance,
if you already have a lot of money, is that what you mean? And you invest that amount. So let's say you had 50,000.
Okay.
And you invest it.
You take that 50,000 and just open a wallet, and just let that 50,000 sit in the wallet.
So it's all online. You just go through your computer, transfer it from your bank account into the wallet.
You buy cryptocurrency and have it set in your wallet. It's called buy and hold. And that buy and hold fluctuates with the market. Okay? One of the things that they're doing in that scenario is creating futures contracts. That's what's going to be. The first one is going to be approved on the 18th of December. There's two more behind it, actually three more behind that in terms of well-known financial institutions wanting to do this. And basically what they're doing, they're either, and when I say futures contract, they're betting on the price going higher or they're betting on shorting it, making it go lower. So there's volatility in there. So the futures market will be betting on the high and low of that environment. Everything that the first level of approvals telling these financial institutions that they can move forward, it's a viable option for that investment industry because of the volatility, and it's considered the currency, it's considered an asset. So they're fully expecting it to be approved by the FCC. So that'll be taken care of. And that creates other options that come along with that. That's buy and hold. Or you can get involved in an investment opportunity like, let's talk about USI Tech real quick. USI Tech, they're saying, if you loan us $100 as an example, in 140 days approximately, we're going to give you your $100 back plus 40%. So in other words, you've made 40% on your money in about 140 days. So that's an investment opportunity. That's not buying whole. That's actually investing in an opportunity. And also you can invest in the opportunity to do Forex trading. And what they're doing is buying, selling. Sell high, buy low, and keep the difference. And the difference goes into the pocket, and that's what we share in as well. You can also get involved in mining. In other words, you buy a portion of a mining pool. And in that mining pool, it's generating cryptocurrency, it's generating Bitcoin. And then you share when that system, the pools that you're in, when it finds the Bitcoin and when it gets rewarded the Bitcoin, then you share in the value of that mining operation.
So there's many ways to make money then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then also, what about the person that goes and markets really to other people?
Okay.
Do they make money faster?
They make money faster because, and I'll use USI Tech again, although there are other opportunities out there as well. USI Tech says that if you go out and share this information with other folks, we're going to give you on the first level, the first people that you bring in, what we call your directs, we're going to give you 10% of the value of what they come in with. I want you to understand as well, in the old days, when you get 10% of somebody's package or somebody's input, it would be 10% off the cost of their package. This 10% is coming from the company. That's why this company is so phenomenal, because it's not coming out of your package. So when you buy cryptocurrency in USI Tech, you get the full value of it.
So the commissions are not coming off of the person that came
Correct.
in.
The company is paying that commission.
Isn't that unlike, when you invest your money, with a financial planner? Their fees come off of your money.
Their fees come off of your money, so you've reduced your investment by that much, by that fee.
Whatever their fees are.
Right.
So this
doesn't happen with that, and so that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that first level, you get 10%. On the second level, if they bring somebody in, they share it with someone, you get 3%, and so on and so forth.
So how is this all affecting financial planners?
That was another reason that I got my certification. We're getting a lot of requests from financial planners, customers, coming to financial planners and saying, I want to get involved in this. How do I get involved in this? Financial planner is saying, hey, that's not in my license, so I can't get you involved in this. However, some financial planners are figuring out a way to get involved. What we're going to do as a consulting company, because we are certified to do that, is we're going to offer consulting services to the financial planners. In other words, we're going to go to them and say, we can talk to your customers about the industry and what's going on. You're providing a service to your customer, and if necessary, we're providing a service to that customer as well, with you being the man in the middle, the good guy. Your license is protected until they figure out a way that you can do it yourself, and your customers are happy because you've given them a referral opportunity to understand more about the industry.
Well, that's that's very interesting. So one other question on that. So do you know, like, if you're a financial planner, or some companies that you represent, like Merrill Lynch, do they say no, you can't get involved in, you can't share Bitcoin with your clients?
That's what right now, what I'm reading and the things that I'm getting fed is that their license says that they can't do it because it hasn't been determined whether it's a currency or if it's a valuable asset. So they have to figure out which that is, and then their license can cover it one way or the other. Until that's resolved, then they can't. But that doesn't leave them of the place to say, you can talk to these people over here. Maybe they can help you understand it.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is go one step further, offer a service to those guys.
You want to educate them. It all comes back to education.
Absolutely, education.
And just like how I started the conversation with the person that says, oh no, we're not investing in that. It's just a matter of they're not educated as to why they would invest in Bitcoin.
Very true, very true. Because if you don't understand it, it's scary.
Of course,
it's scary. But once you get educated and understand what's going on, then you can make an intelligent decision. You can make an informed decision. In the meantime, you're running around there with your Uncle Joe telling you that it's a bubble or it's this, that, and the other, and Uncle Joe is broke as you are. And so you're not looking at the opportunity.
Yeah, so you have to be careful who you listen to. That's the big thing. It's like with anything, you don't want to get involved with someone that hasn't done what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
If they haven't achieved it, excuse me, then they're probably not the person to lead you.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
So now we have you with a certification, and all of your background and knowledge anyway was huge in the industry. And so you're off doing these classes and training people and educating people all around us. So congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
good.
much. I just want to make sure that people understand what's going on and where the opportunities are. And again, it's about having no regrets. Because if you get through this, one day you're standing back there and going, I woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Don't do that. As long as you get the education, then if you woulda, shoulda, coulda, you've made an intelligent decision as opposed to one from ignorance.
Exactly. Well, so what would you leave? How can they get a hold of you? Let's share your number.
My number is 702-580-9397. That's, again, Verner Dixon at 702-580-9397. You can also reach me on my email. It's vmeonline7. That's an easy one. At gmail.com. And you can also call Sherial, and Sherial can reach me as well, and we can work through that also.
Yep, that's right. And so now, are you going to be doing any classes over the holidays, over December?
Not from December, not from Christmas to New Year's. So it'll be after that. But we'll be doing between now and then every Thursday. It'll be at 7180 West Sahara, Suite 207. That's 81. 81.
We'll put it on the screen.
8170 West Sahara.
They'll get the address. Okay. Well, thanks again so much for coming in and sharing all this valuable information, because people can't hear too much about this, because this is something that's obviously not going away. I mean, is Facebook going away, you guys? I don't believe so. No. Is Instagram going away? No. Is the internet going to leave us? No. Just like, how we used to say that, Microsoft, well, nobody's going to get that.
Nobody's going to do that. That's too hard.
Well, you might want to think twice about it and get involved with Bitcoin. Call Verner Dixon today. Don't delay. Don't have regrets. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I do too. Love to have you. And thank you guys for listening live, and we will see you next time. Have a great week.